morning, everybody. Hey,
Good morning. It's
not Thursday.
It's not Title Talk Thursday.
It is not Title Talk Thursday.
We have a Friday Fun Day title style. That's what I called it. That we usually have our Friday Fun Days that were on job sites.
Yeah.
But today we had a little
Medical.
we had a little mix up in the
We
week.
tripped up the week a little bit, so that's all. So hey, look, thanks for joining us here on a Title Talk Friday. Just changing some things up here today with our usual setting and topics and fun. We're going to kind of dive into some conversation a little bit more about the workplace and discuss the element of that and kind of the cohesion of a team and what that all looks like. So we're gonna talk a lot about that stuff, as well as our typical fun facts and two truths and a lie,
All
the things that we just love to do. But just to remind you guys, we are Inspired Title Group. My name's Drew.
And my name is Amy.
We thank you for joining us here this morning and or this afternoon or evening, depending on when you're watching this. Our office is located at 11757 Southwest Highway in lovely Palos Heights, Illinois.
Or 11757, whichever way you
However you like to say
whichever
it.
way you like the
As well as we
numbers.
got our couple offices in Indiana.
We do.
We have one in St. John as well as Griffith. So why don't we get right into things that we like to talk about? So Ian, why don't we move into kind of some conversation together about the industry and talking a little bit more about
She said she's looking
for receipts now. Yeah. So one of the things that I think that as a leader and somebody who's kind of developed a couple different companies, things that I look for in people are, again, like we've always talked and we've talked to the audience about, people that are of the alike, right? And you know that the health of an organization is important, and the flow of an organization. You haven't worked in a big company ever, right?
No.
I mean, it's not ever been something. So we're going to obviously talk on a smaller sense, based on the fact that what we are, and talking about some of the trials and tribulations of what goes on behind the scenes in a company and the organization and the team. And there's so many different things that businesses deal with and business owners deal with, and it's not always just roses and unicorns and rainbows and things, right? I mean, there's a lot of conflict. There's a lot.
There's tension, and so when Inspired Title started, it was two people. When in the very beginning of like title days of what this was, it was not even me. It was Drew and one other person. And then we've grown from that to now we have us two and Miguel and John and Brittany and sometimes Christina and sometimes Courtney.
Yeah.
So like we
had 8 people.
Yeah, we grew from 2 to 8, and like I think it's the having a team that works together is a constant work in progress.
Right.
If that makes any sense. Like and the bigger we grow and the busier we get, busy is good, growth is great. But there's definitely tension. There's definitely like workplace conflict once in a while, and it's just the reality of what this is. And so Drew actually did something really cool. He got us a coach. That happened, it was like 6 months ago almost, right?
Yeah, we're on our 6th month.
To kind of help with our growth and development as a team.
Well, and talking about that, like recognizing the culture of what the team was and saying, okay, well, where do I want to take this? What's the goal for the business, and how do we get there? And obviously, you had mentioned a few times early on that, what were your words? Like the office felt there was tension. There was, but there was. I mean, there was a consistency that you were talking about, that it wasn't comfortable. It wasn't cohesive.
It wasn't cohesive, and it's hard because number one, that's a hard thing to say to your boss.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's a difficult conversation to bring up in any situation. It's always difficult to acknowledge conflict. But it was something that I was like, freaking, we're all spending so much time and energy here that like we need to like something needs to happen here before we all just lose it.
Well, so what that really inspired me to do was step outside of my own abilities and say, look, maybe this isn't something that I by myself can fix or I by myself can do. So seeking out the help of some other professionals, people in a business setting that can come in and really do some work behind the scenes and take a team that is so very close, because not only just in proximity,
And everything.
right, but in many different aspects, and build some trust and some cohesiveness. And we have done some, I feel, to be really remarkable things in learning about each other,
For sure.
and adding different habits to our day.
Yeah.
You know, you want to talk about some of those habits that we kind of introduced?
It's so one of the big things we're trying to implement is the huddles. Because it's hard when you work with these handful of people and you never know what they're doing.
Right.
It's
Right.
and like it's not because we want to know the ins and outs of everybody's day, but like if somebody comes in the morning and says, I have 3 closings I'm getting ready for, I have 9 disbursements, and I can't help you today,
Right.
I'm sorry, but like I just need to be left alone.
For sure.
And we now know that it's not disrespectful,
No.
but it is them saying, okay, hands off, everything that you need to do today is priority for you, so I'm leaving you alone.
Well, right, and it allows the team to recognize where maybe they can help because maybe they're not as busy.
Right.
It provides a real starting point for information. And you know, you work in the restaurant business, and you have pre-shift meetings, and you
Right.
talk about what the specials are for the day, and you know, you're given some tools right out of the gate, and that's kind of what one piece was, is start the day with a huddle, so you kind of get an idea of what everybody's goals are for the day.
Yeah, and then it helps you realize what you need to do for the day.
Correct.
Because like I'm huge on organization, I'm huge on like write down what you need to do, cross stuff off a list. It's a great feeling when you're able to make a list and like check stuff off of it. So like it just forces your brain to get ready for the day.
Absolutely.
And like be able to organize your day. And you know, the guys always say like you never know what's gonna happen in the day, which
True statement.
I can completely understand and relate to. But at least you know, hey, if you have a day that's kind of slow, that you're not being affected a ton by outside forces, then you at least know what
Right.
your goal should be.
It's a moving target, and one of the things that that we do or we've had happen is things that building trust, and I think that's one of the biggest things you can do as a leader in your coaching or your team building or your professional world is build a sense of trust around your office, around your team.
If you don't trust who you work with, then
Right. I mean, it's super healthy to have some conflict in the office. It's super healthy to have a couple employees go, hey, you know what? I don't appreciate that you didn't finish that because it affected what I needed to do. And I think those conflicts are really healthy.
Yeah.
And those happen when you have a level of trust, because it's not about, I hate you, I don't like you. And it's about, hey, I can speak openly to you because I trust that you're going to get this done, and you're going to receive this as not personal, as it's a work thing.
and I think that ultimately is what led to my growth being
100%.
tested and being questioned, being tested, because if I need to prove myself, that's fine.
Right.
I don't mind proving myself. It just makes me more aware of where I'm lacking and where I need to keep growing.
But you wrestled with that? That was
Oh
something
yeah,
that.
and I think I'm still wrestling with it.
Mhm.
Because I think the first time that anybody ever says, "Are you sure?" to someone,
Right.
like it's not a question people like getting asked, because ultimately, like my brain goes in defense mode.
Yes.
Like when someone says, "Are you sure?" I'm like, well, "Why are you questioning me? I was sure I wouldn't have done it if I wasn't sure about it." So I think I used to take it in a really negative way, rather than they're actually trying to,
Yeah.
trying to watch my back and make sure that I am sure.
Well, didn't you? So I mean, obviously, your.
Your phone just stinks. Don't worry. We're
Okay,
good still.
it's
I
fine.
watch
I
it.
just want to make sure because mine went blank. So before I moved you into the position you're in now, and then once I did, there was a really big trust and learning curve for you,
It was hard.
because again, not only being young, right? Second part of that was probably being the newest employee at the time. So, it's not about age. It's not about the newness of when you come into an organization. I mean, if you exhibit the skills that are necessary to take on a leadership role, and I think that's really what we're talking about is leading and how to lead.
Yeah.
People ask me all the time, and I've been part of men's groups and mentoring kids, and then obviously starting businesses and things. There's a way to do it, and believe me, it's different with every aspect of what you're doing. I mean, the development company, the leadership in that is very different than it is in the title company. Coaching baseball and leading these teams, very different than business. However, there's some overlap. There's,
sure.
But the style that you develop is ultimately the style that kind of remains the same throughout the whole thing. And now that's what you're ultimately doing is developing a style for you that works for you, that also gets your messages across to our team members.
Right, which is different than yours.
Correct.
I mean, it's cohesive with yours, but how I go about getting stuff done around the office is different than you do.
Correct.
Correct. But I think the ultimate thing is if it works, then that's all that matters.
Right. I'm not micromanaging that. I've left it to you to lead and given you that responsibility. And now when there are bigger issues, it's more of a conversation about, hey, what do we do?
Right. And when you first told me about your plans for me, I was sitting there like,
correct.
Are you sure about this?
Right. And you still do. I mean, even when I talk about some other bigger things coming into the future, it's because it's the fear of the unknown.
Oh, for sure.
That's
I don't like unknown.
I know.
It's terrifying to me.
That's something that excites me is that challenge and that excitement of what's next and taking on that next, wrestling that next animal.
Yeah.
But knowing that you're going to battle with people who are of the alike with your attitude and your demeanor and they have your best interest in mind, it does make it easier to do.
For sure.
And that's something that we really focused on and really tried to develop. Amy is seeing a coach independently, as do I, and we're both working on different aspects of our growth and our leadership skills because, as Amy said earlier, you're doing it differently. And you're doing the more day in, day out.
Right.
I'm doing the bigger pictured items where it's company growth, it's bigger pictures. So my conversations with Amy are more to the level of, okay, here's my focus, and then she brings it to try to convey that to the team.
Directly in the office, yeah.
Exactly.
And it's weird because, I work closely in the title side and in the development side, and the way he leads development side is completely different than the way you lead title side. So it's weird to think that even though you're the same person, you have those two different ways to lead different things that you're doing. So that's just something I've noticed so that it's okay to be a leader and lead what you're doing in different ways. I don't, like you said, there's similarities in teaching.
Right.
But I don't teach my kids the same way that I work with people in the office.
Not everybody learns the same.
For sure.
And that's, I've mentioned that in my mentoring of kids, it's, you got to know your audience. And if you know your audience, then you have a better handle on how you're going to be able to teach them. I mean, we could take all 6 people in the office and sit them down, and each one of them is going to learn and receive things
so
different.
Crazy.
And it's just the way you talk to them. But that's part of the skill set of being a leader.
Right. Know your audience and know how to talk to them.
And here's something that may really just shock people is you can be the smartest person in the organization and know every aspect of the organization, but have no idea how to lead that. So there are some people and leaders out there, I say this to you, you can identify those people who have a tremendous amount of knowledge, and maybe that's what they are. They're just that person who has a tremendous amount of knowledge.
Which is important to have in a company.
Correct.
We're not going to run and be successul without those people.
Right.
But at the
maybe
same time,
they can't lead.
Right.
Because they just are so focused on all of that knowledge. And I simplify it to the just because you played baseball at the highest level doesn't mean you can coach it. You could take a major league ball player who is tremendously skilled. They're an all-star. They're in the Hall of Fame. But then you put them in front of a bunch of kids and they go, I have no idea how to convey what I know to you. It doesn't mean that you are able to do that.
It's the Arsenal coach.
Right.
It was Pinarco. It was you know what I mean? There's a lot of names running through my head that they were so good at what they did, but why the heck are they trying to lead this team?
No, they can't do it.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's such a true weird thing to look at.
And it's really just being able to identify the strengths of your team and then work on the weaknesses of your team, because the weaknesses of your team, like the upside takes care of itself, right? You got to concentrate on the downside. So
Right.
the strengths are going to be the strengths. You know what those are.
Right.
It's what can I do to bring up that strength side or that weakness side and make them feel more comfortable.
Right.
And I think that's where we've concentrated on with the coaching and the, I don't know, the team building exercises that
For sure.
we do frequently. You know, we constantly are, at least once a month, we connect and get together.
Yeah.
Obviously with COVID that has lessened, but before COVID we were probably a couple times a month we would go out as a team,
So close to that escape room.
right?
Oh, I want to go to an
We
escape
went to
room
escape
so
room.
bad.
Yep. And we did some really fun things together to really just gel as a team. Obviously the bigger organizations that's harder to do, but if you've got a small organization and you're leading them, I tell you this, and Amy can really just speak to this and back this up, but the impact, the difference that it makes
Oh, there's
is
such a huge difference. Yeah.
is huge. We had a retreat a couple weeks ago, and it was probably one of the best things that I've done. It was outside of the office. It was not done inside the office, so you didn't have the distractions of work and the busyness. It was done on a Saturday. We shared the better part of a day together where we did some, like 2 90-minute sessions where we did some trust building exercises, and then we did some brainstorming around the business. And the takeaway from that by the entire team was that was amazing because they got to learn about each other. And it's really difficult to come down on somebody when you just heard a story, because until you've walked a day in somebody's shoes,
Oh
you
my
don't know what
God, you
they're
have
going
no
through.
idea what they're going through.
And it's amazing the openness and the vulnerability that people share. It's very easy to point a finger. It's very easy to pass a judgment. But you don't know what they're going through.
No.
And when you hear it, it immediately just chokes you up, because you sit there and go, wow.
Like you said,
I
you never
knew
know.
that.
You never know what people are going through until you hear it from
Right.
them.
And I'm blessed and thankful that I've developed a relationship with the team, that they feel comfortable around us to say some of the things they did and share some of the stories they shared. And it really makes the environment in the office so much more,
It's lighter.
yeah.
Like it's just different. It's connecting with people on that level is so much different than just working with people. And as many times as I say it, like this is your work family. Like
Right.
this is a person that people that you're spending a lot of time with.
Yep.
It's not high and by in 5 minutes a day. Like you are living almost seeing these people more than your family.
True statement.
So
Yep.
I feel like trying to find that way to make them part of your family is important.
I agree, and we work together well, and we treat our clients in that same manner. And
Oh,
one
yeah.
of the things that we try to understand is if we can understand the personalities of the people in the office, I think there's a benefit to learning the personalities of our clients, and therefore you can treat them different, and
Yeah.
you can treat them better. Leaders out there, I recommend that you have your team take this DISC test. It's DISC. It will open up your eyes as a leader. It will open up the team's eyes to understand the personality trait that they carry, and then further it gives the dynamic of how each letter interacts with the other. It is so powerful, and if you learn it and you know it, you can start identifying other people in your industry, your clients,
You're such a D.
your business, right?
I say that to you.
Exactly, and people you'll know how to talk to them. You'll know how to relate. You'll better interact with them because you understand their personality.
Or why they're reacting like they are.
Absolutely,
Maybe it's not something that I
Absolutely.
did directly, but it's something inside them that is how they react.
it's
to
dynamic.
something. Yeah.
It was again one of the stronger
was
tools
really
that
cool.
we got out of the gate when we started this whole coaching thing. So, just a few little tips and pointers for you guys running businesses and you folks out there that are maybe
Or struggling in a business. That,
Exactly.
You're in a work environment that I love my job and I hate the people I work with,
Right.
because I know that's sometimes an issue too. It's like there are ways around this, but
Sure.
it takes more than one person or one side of a team to make this work.
Right.
It's a constant growth. I don't want to say it's a constant battle, but it's an uphill climb to
Yeah.
find the relationship and find that with people. So
I mean, define what what are you looking for in a leader? What type of boss leader are you looking for? And I think that part of what you'll find is, I think you'll always come back to the same things. I think you're looking for somebody who is confident in what they're doing and is inspirational in how they lead. They're organized. They have a thought process of a structure where they're going. The folks that are living day to day and putting out the fires and scattered, those are the ones that's why the team is scattered.
Mhm.
You lead by example to a level. And if you don't have a direction and you don't have a focus, how do you expect your team to be? Like, it's not their job to make you organized.
Right. And at the same time, when you're a leader, you need to think about the people that you're hiring.
Correct.
Or, it's just one of those weird, the flip side kind of things. Like, when I was interviewing, when we started the interview process for people, Drew was
Yeah.
like, okay, this is on you. And I was like, oh, but
Mhm.
you want me to what? So it's like, you interview these people and you have to see who you mesh with and who you think,
Who's gonna
might
come into
fit
the-
into the puzzle of what you
Right.
have so far. So it's a tug of war. It's a,
And that's where there's a lot of folks that are out there, filling out applications and sending out their resumes and things. And one of the criteria, just know that one of the criteria for management to determine if you're a fit is not just a skill set.
no.
I mean, they're going to look at, how do you fit into the culture of what we do?
And that's why in-person interviews, or I don't know if Zoom interviews are a thing, but it's still,
Yeah.
it's a thing. Like it's a,
They want to get,
not just hire somebody based on your resume looking good.
No.
Like it's the meshing of the
yep,
team and the
you've got to
people.
show well. And,
Yeah.
and that's something that, you do want that face-to-face because you want
Brittany's pretty cool. I think we did a pretty good job with her.
Yeah, so far.
Drew hates her taste in music.
Oh
but
my gosh.
but besides that, Brittany's been a great fit, I think.
Yeah, I agree. And there again, we interviewed a handful of people,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that the skill set was somewhat less of our concern because
Oh,
we
yeah.
were going to do a lot of teaching,
Of
and a lot of a lot of molding. It was more that personality
I
that
was like,
think we looked for.
Right, like if I'm spending this much time with her and I'm working like in close proximity with her, like it can't be someone that I can't get along with.
And you're tough. I mean, your skill set and your organization warrants a similar person
Mm-hmm.
because the other frustrates you. So that having
Frustrates is a nice way to put
right,
it.
I mean, having somebody else that is just scattered would be just you would be
One
very,
of us would quit.
right.
Like it would not.
So
no.
that's where I think one of the reasons I put you in that
Mhm.
front point is not only to learn it and understand it, but this is somebody that's going to be working closely with you.
Mm.
You got to make nice with them. I don't, and they got to get the job done. And
I think we made too nice. I don't think you like how much we get along.
yeah,
How
no,
well
right.
we get along.
Right. No, that's true. That is true. So, but these are things that we concentrate on, and we'll obviously take this to some more levels as we evolve.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that it's kind of cool to touch base on to see where
For
we're
sure.
at now, where we're going to be in 3 months, and I think it's an important thing because it's sometimes hard to talk about, and it's sometimes just overshadowed and overlooked, and like you hear people saying, "Oh, my boss is such a like,"
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like there's definitely people that think that. So the fact that we can think that, say it to each other,
Right.
and then move forward from there and grow from there, it's a pretty powerful thing,
No, it
and
is.
you don't grow without the growing pains. So.
No doubt. So hopefully that was helpful for you guys.
Just a little funsy for
Hopefully
you.
it makes you think a little
Yeah.
bit and maybe kind of reevaluate where you're at and give yourself some time to kind of just recheck, repurpose your place. And like I said, we'll take some more elaboration on this as we continue to grow and share these things with you guys because I think they're healthy and helpful
I think so too.
for what's going on. So that is our wonderful segment that we usually put in there as title talk and talking about the title industry in the world. But
industry.
I think we just kind of made this a business thing, a work thing,
Because it's kind of what we're going through as a company right now. So I think I always like when we're able to bring stuff that's affecting us in the everyday to you guys because I kind of feel like it connects you to what we're doing here.
Yep,
So.
positive and negative. It's
Mhm.
important to do. So why don't we wind down with our fabulous quote of the day. Yep. You want me to go first?
I don't have one.
Think of one. That's okay. That's okay. So this will be a good summary for today, and kind of some of the things that we've talked about, and just to leave you with something else to kind of digest. I hope that after these and after you've watched these, you go back and watch them again, because the information that we share, it's real. It's us, and it's not scripted. It's not anything that we are kind of
Rehearsing or practicing,
yeah,
like
this
it's
is
just
real. This is just
every day.
You know, Drew and Amy inspired title, real place, real location, real people, real title business, all of it. And I think there's some valuable tools that are here. So my quote is that you can't always have a good day, but you can always face a bad day with a good attitude. And I wrote that, and it's something that I need to exercise myself, as this week here has brought a lot of animosity and anxiety and stress with just deadlines and different opportunities, and it really works you up. And I think that, you know, sitting here talking with Amy and sitting here with sharing with our team, recognizing that the excitement of what we do and why we do it outweighs the negatives that we encounter every day. I mean, you know, the development world is growing, and we've got some really fun things. It's giving me huge headaches and huge stress, and unfortunately I'm sharing that with Amy and Ryan and kind of spilling over on them, but they have kept a really great attitude. They see my frustration, they hear my anger, and they've kind of been able to, you know, spread it out and go, okay, you know, so what are we going to do about this? And I think both of them have stepped up to trying to take some of that responsibility and go, we got it, we're going to make it better. So I'm thankful and blessed to have their input in this and their help. So the quote of the day also has some takeaways with it. So we'll forego yours. That's okay, unless you have a quick one.
I mean, I can go back to, I think I've said this one, but it's my go-to. Life isn't
As
about...
long as you're not going to say the preamble.
I'm not going to say that.
If you missed the preamble, it's going to be on YouTube.
Please tell me there's going to be an American flag in the
Amy
background.
quotes the preamble. It's kind of brilliant. I can't lie. I was definitely taken aback by her brilliance last week, that she went ahead and just spewed that with no hesitation.
I'm so embarrassing.
Yeah, you should be.
I am.
But
I'm
go
going
ahead.
to my life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning to dance in the rain.
Absolutely.
And I've said it. I say it. I have it on my wall. It's one of my
very good.
favorites.
No, it's a very good one. So we are kind of humbled to be doing this, and we're thankful that you guys are continuing to listen and follow us each week and share this with your family and friends. We wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't for you guys. We enjoy it because of you guys. We are asking for you guys to continue to subscribe and like and share and do all the wonderful things that you've been doing to this point to make this thing possible. And we'll keep coming to you guys with fun and laughter and different ideas and different thoughts and
different guests soon, hopefully.
Yeah.
We'll get a guest on here for you guys.
yeah, the whole COVID thing has been tough with the guesting world, but you know, maybe even bring some of the team members on to start introducing them and
They
and
sounded
such
really
as well.
exciting when we brought that up.
Yeah, but it's, you know what, we've broken some ice barriers, so
Yeah.
we'll get through some of that. So until next time, my name is Drew.
And my name is Amy.
We are Inspired Title with Inspired Development and all of the wonderful inspired things we do, and we thank you guys for joining us. Until next week, have a great week, everybody.
Weekend.
Weekend. Oh my gosh, it's Friday.
Happy Friday.
Take care, guys. Thanks for joining.